Top tip number 4, don't stare at the floor. People have come to listen to your presentation and they want to see you. Now, you might be the type of person who doesn't necessarily enjoy making eye contact with others, especially making eye contact with a large group of people, many of whom you don't know. But the thing is, they want to see you. So if you are one of those people, it's very important that you actually challenge yourself to look around the room and make eye contact with people. Don't actually stare down at your notes. Just because you can't see other people doesn't mean that other people can't see you. So, for example, in this webinar, you work out very clearly that I'm looking down the lens of a camera. If, however, I look down at my notes on my knee here and I talk to you about staring at the floor, and it's very important that you don't stare at the floor and very important you don't stare at those, very quickly you'll pick up the point that I'm actually not making any effort to engage with you, and you will look around for another webinar to watch, and I wouldn't blame you. It's extremely important for me to look down the lens of this camera to you. In the same way, when you are presenting, look around at other people. Don't stare at the floor. Practice this. If this is something that you find hard to do, find opportunities to actually start making eye contact with people. I would avoid, obviously, making random eye contact with members of the public on public transport. That, of course, is another area which could, of course, get you into all sorts of difficulty. But in a presentation, you are unlikely to have British Transport Police, or indeed any transport police, called because you're looking at people. But here are a couple of things that you need to just be very careful that you don't do, especially if you are somebody who is a little bit uncomfortable with making eye contact. Please, whatever you do, don't just generally scan the room. It looks slightly strange from an audience's point of view if you do just scan the room. Equally, if you think, I know, I won't look at people's eyes, I'll look at the top of their heads and they won't notice. Oh yes, they will notice, because they'll all start scratching the top of their heads thinking, why on earth is that presenter looking at the top of my head? But then a trap that I see so many people falling into, and this happens a lot, is that there will be somebody who is presenting and they might not be very confident at presenting and they might not particularly enjoy making eye contact with strangers or indeed peers, and they'll look around the room and they will suddenly make eye contact with the person who is giving them positive eye contact back, i.e. the person who is smiling at them and looks like they're enjoying their presentation. Well, the danger here is that that person will then look at that member of their audience and deliver the entire contents of their presentation to that one person. And all that does is makes that one person feel very, very anxious. It makes them feel awkward. They'll look away, they'll look up again, and they'll think, oh, I'm still being looked at, and they'll look away again, and they'll look up, and they'll think, right, this is really awkward. And then everybody else in the room will disengage because they will not be getting part of your eye contact. So it's extremely important that you don't just stare at the floor. And another reason why it's important not to stare at the floor is because all you're doing is you're sending your voice directly down to the floor. And it's very, very difficult to engage people vocally if all you're doing is sending your voice crashing down onto the floor, as this next presenter demonstrates now.
Can protect their interests. Can protect their interests by applying for the entry of a notice on the landlord's title or an entry at the Land Charges Department in the usual way.